What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Thoughts of the Pugilist podcast. I'm your host, Floyd Mayweather, and today's pugilist is the one and only Charles Air Jourdain.
How are you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you? How do you feel?
I'm wonderful. Just finished training. We're in the gym. No better place to be in.
Yeah, we saw you. You started going hard after the cameras came out.
It was okay. It was good. I was with Jourdain. Jourdain's is fighting in 1 month. We have a lot of very good fighters. My brother Louis. There's so many good guys here, and they're all preparing for fights. So, yeah. So sometimes we go hard, but it's with love.
Of course. Now you're fighting December 18th.
I am.
How are you getting ready? How do you?
The usual, man. Like MMA camp is very different than boxing camp. I know you're very familiar with boxing. But MMA is very different because there's all a mixture of martial art that we need to put emphasis on, like wrestling, jiu-jitsu, MMA, like the mixture of it, and then boxing. Like there's so many things that we need to take care of, so it's hard to be a specialist in any of those areas. We need to be very well-rounded, but any fighters has some speciality. My specialty is Muay Thai, striking. I love throwing elbows, knees, and kicks. This is something I always liked since I was young, so this is my baby. But yeah, very intense camp. I got 1 month now. Yeah, in 1 month I'm fighting in December in Vegas. So I'm used to that. By the way, in Vegas there's going to be no crowd. So
Still?
Yeah, still, because we're fighting on UFC fight nights. If it's a number, they have 20,000 people. So now it's going to be in the NT Arena. This I like the violence of it. There's something pure about it, and I really enjoy it.
Wow. Well, hold on. You enjoy no crowd?
Yes, I do, because like you hear him scream when you hit him. You hear him, like every time you hit these guys, you feel like they and this is something I like. This is making it more pure. I like the Colosseum effect, like when there's some people chanting your name, this and that. It's very cool, but there's something pure about fighting with no crowd. There's something more personal. There's something more violent that I highly enjoy.
Do you want it to be personal between you and your opponent?
No, it's just like when there's a crowd, people make gimmicks, they put up fingers, they start to playing a character because there's so many people viewing them, and this is a way to relieve some stress for them. It's okay. Like you're stressed, you're fighting in front of millions on television and then thousands in the stadium. So
Right.
Of course you're gonna make some gimmicks, but they do that because they're stressed. It's my opinion. I think I would do this type of thing, like talk to the opponent, if I want to relieve some tension from the crowd. So both I like, but I really enjoy no crowd.
Okay. Now you grew up in a small town in Quebec.
Yes.
And now you're on top of the world. You're fighting for the UFC, and who knows what the future holds for you. What do you feel about this?
I feel like a normal person because when you go to the gym, you get humbled so many ways. Like even though I'm one of the few Quebecois in the UFC, I'm getting mauled here.
Okay.
Like Gumby and all these guys, they're destroying me. So how can I be on top of the world all the time if I'm getting my ass kicked? Because if I'm not getting my ass kicked, I'm doing something wrong in my training. You know, if you're the best everywhere, you're never gonna learn. So that's the same thing for like your circle of friends. You want people to know things that you don't in order to that's gonna make you evolve. So it goes both ways. So it's very important to have people that destroy you,
Right.
not destroy you and then like bring you down, but by destroying you, it help you get stronger and get ready to face these monsters in the UFC.
Check your ego every now and then.
Exactly. I'm not a big ego guy. Sometimes I have bad days in the gym. Last time I was getting destroyed by Francis, who is one of the top black belts in Canada, and I just took my shit and left the gym.
Really?
And there was no, are you okay? No. There was like, fuck it. You're there tomorrow? Okay, perfect. Boom. And I was there tomorrow, and we kept going. But sometimes it's very hard for the mental because you arrive and like everything is not according to plan. And there are other days that you're the best in the gym. So it depends. You need to be strong and you need to face the good and the bad.
Okay.
It's my opinion.
Now, speaking of learning, you took a very uncommon route in Montreal.
Yes.
Right? You know what I'm talking about. You
did.
trained with
I do.
BTT and not Tristar.
Yes.
And Tristar is like, it's a very reputable gym. They have a lot of fighters. Rory McDonald, George St. Pierre, and George St. Pierre is arguably the GOAT.
Yes.
In my opinion, he is in MMA. I
Yes.
don't know that much about MMA, but if I do have an opinion,
That George is the best. Yeah, but you have to take things into consideration. Like if you're always looking for other people to make you better and not yourself, like I see some guys like they lose one fight and they quit everybody that helped them reach what they got. Like let's say with Fabio, I won two titles with TKO, the biggest Canadian organization before I get to the UFC. And when I arrived to the UFC, I arrived last minute. I lost. And my first thing in my mind was, it's my fault. Right. I should have trained harder. I should have done this. I should have done this. Then I called the coach. Okay, we need to do this, this, this. We're all improving as a team. Because if you're someone who's blaming others for your own mistakes, you are the problem. Okay. If you're always blaming, like let's say you always have trouble with your girlfriend, let's say, and it's always her fault, it's always her problem, you're never going to evolve. Right. And you're never going to understand her point, and it's just going to be complete chaos, you know? So it's very important to, every time there's a problem, look at your belly button first before you start pointing fingers. So that thing about, I lost, I'm getting media attention now because I'm in the UFC, and they're telling me, you need to leave those gym, you need to do this, you need to do that. They're couch guys on their phones telling you what to do, and you're going to let them like get into your head? I found this pitiful. Tristar is a very good gym. They have very good fighters, but let's be real. They have very good fighters, but the only world champion is George.
St. Pierre.
Exactly. So you cannot say, like, let's say Mike and Winklejohn, they had so many good guys, so many champions, and Carlos Condit, John Jones, this and that. Because it's a US gym, there's more people like this and that. This is understandable, but let's say in Montreal, it's we have to take into consideration that there's very few people in Montreal. It's not a crazy big city. Yes, exactly. So all the guys who are here, there's a bunch of very good guys, but extraordinary guys like George, we're never gonna find someone like him. Me or Marc-André Barriot, as much as we're gonna grind and get on top, we're never gonna be like George. George was something else. George was in the perfect era. He had the perfect mentality for that era. He was George. It's Midas. Everything he touched turned to gold. So he's one of a kind. So, and it's very good for us to have this idol. But by being 100% frank with me, I'm never going to be like him, and I don't want to be like him. Well, George is George, and he chose his route, and he did wonderful things. But I want to be me. I want to be the best me I can be. So by being honorable towards myself, I don't want to be anybody else. Okay. You know?
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you do have one thing in common with George that I want to talk to you about, is that you're not a very intimidating guy.
I'm a nice guy.
You look scary when I watch you in the cage. But if somebody was looking for trouble, I'm sure you would be a target.
Yeah, but they don't like it. Like people play a role. Like you could ask my brother for funny stories about it. I'm never looking for trouble. I'm a reactive person. Okay. I'm not looking for any trouble. But if violence is looking for me, I'm the first one to answer the phone. I'm ready. I love it. Like, cause all the time, like I got out of my car and there's like a bunch of guys like they're flipping me off or whatever. I'm already like trying to open their door. And true story.
Can you tell us a story about that,
long story short, I was at a stop and the guys wouldn't want to advance and the light was green. So I just honked a bit and there was like 4 or 5 guys in the car, big dudes. And I was with my brother and I honked a little bit.
Your brother's an MMA fighter as well,
yes,
right?
as well. And he's not as intimidating as well. He's a 135er. We're both small young men. So I honked and like the guy make a face. I'm like, dude, don't do that. You don't want to do that. And we arrive at the stop and he just did this. I just saw the middle finger starting to go up and I was already at this door trying to open it. And I was like, get the fuck out of the car. And all the guys, like grown men, were like, we're not getting out of the car. And I was like screaming at them. And I just... Don't play with me. I'm a very nice guy. I love everybody, but if you start stepping on my toes, there's something like all that violence that I... But now it's less crazy. I'm more mature. That happened when I was like 21, so it's been like 4 years. Now I'm more mature, but I still have my limits. I'm a very nice guy, but do whatever you want to do. You want to be transgender, you want to be this, you want to be that. I don't care. Like power to you for choosing who you want to be.
Right.
But don't push it on me and telling me what I should do to make you feel comfortable, you know?
Yeah, I feel
so
you.
I'm going to respect everybody. I'm going to do my thing, but don't step on my shoes.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. Do you have any other stories for us like that? Because do you ever get approached?
It's not on camera, right?
No one's
Yeah.
watching. No one's watching.
No, but no, just the usual stuff, like just people who wants to make them feel comfortable. Like feeling comfortable is in ourselves. It's inwards. Like my girlfriend had issues with comparing herself with IG models, this and that. And although she's a very young, beautiful woman, she had these issues. But it's not because of the girls on Instagram. It's you comparing yourself to them.
Right.
You know. So coming back to that, in reality, like you do you. Power to you. I'm never gonna go out and tell you what to do with your life. So please don't do it with me. Don't wait for me to make you feel comfortable. You feeling comfortable is your duty.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
So this is my philosophy about it. I'm never gonna try to shove an ideology or my thinking on someone. I respect everybody who has different opinion, and that's what makes our world so special. Mm-hmm. Everybody, different backgrounds, different philosophy, different beliefs, and that's what make our world so beautiful, in my opinion.
Do you enjoy controversy in MMA?
In general, in controversy is fun. It's circus. I like circus, like the Jake Paul thing. It's fun. Like, let's be honest, it's a circus. Everybody want to go to the circus, but you know it's not real. It's like fantasy thing. Like people, like real boxers were like, hey, I'm 12-0 and I'm not making Jake Paul. Yeah, but you're not as famous as the guy, and the guy's pulling viewers. So fair enough to him, and like fair play to him. Jake is doing his thing. He's gonna fight Tommy Fury. I really enjoy. They're talking trash back and forth. This is a circus.
Okay, can we get a prediction on that fight?
I think Jake's gonna win. I really enjoy Jake because you can see what I respect about him is how good he gets every fight.
After fight.
Exactly.
We
so
definitely
we see the guy is working. He's not just a YouTube crazy kid. He's working hard. So you have to respect the guy by the fact he's putting in the work. So yeah, my prediction will be Jake. But he's fighting December 18th, the same day as me. So make sure you watch me before you watch him. All right?
Course. Now, you know what? I was actually, I didn't like his whole approach to boxing at the very start, especially when he was going to box the wrestler.
Ben Askren.
Ben Askren, exactly. I thought since wrestlers have a tendency to, you know, go down and then come back upstairs with an overhand right, I thought that was going to be the end of it. But I didn't realize how bad Ben Askren was at boxing. And then the next fight against Tyron Woodley, I can't help but be impressed. He was.
Absolutely.
Look, there is still a controversy on whether or not he won, but he looked really good. And Tyron Woodley is not, like, I'm sure Tyron Woodley, if he wanted to go pro in boxing, I'm sure he can easily go like 12-0 or even more than that if he fought the right guys. So that at that point I was really impressed. And like you said, he's doing his thing. He's making money.
Absolutely, and it's good. And it's good for the boxing scenes. Like the kid fighting under his undercard.
Yeah.
Like there was a woman, like Jake. I think he gave her like $500,000.
Amanda Serrano.
Yeah, something like
and
that.
she's a beast.
Yeah, and the girl make the biggest payday, and now because of that, she don't have to go the extra fight that would probably injure her to a certain degree. So how can you hate on the guy?
No, I can't, not anymore.
Yes, he's doing the right thing, and that is not something that he said. It's something that he did, and then the media, like Mr. McKillop told us a lot of stories about Floyd. Like Floyd saved a lot of gyms in Vegas from going bankrupt. And he said, "I'm giving you this money, but you're not telling anybody." So the gym owners talking between them, and McKillop, by being one of them, he told me about that story. And I'm not gonna drop names, but Floyd saved a lot of gyms and a lot of people from going bankrupt in the boxing community, or he helped a lot of young fighters coming up. But he's not telling that because it's not the persona that he wants to put in front of the camera. So we have to be careful when we see something online. Like there's a human behind all of that spectrum. So yeah, I respect a lot of these.
If I'm not mistaken, he's looked after the families of a few of his former opponents after they died.
Probably. I'm not familiar with that story, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Very generous man.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like it online, but
Yeah, but he's living the dream, man. He worked hard for everything that he has. So people say, oh, he's showing his money. You're like, don't care, man. Let him do what he wants to do. Yeah, exactly.
You took a page out of Jake Paul's book, is that you're kind of an internet troll.
What do you mean?
With all your reels and everything, you're like the king of reels and
oh
and
yeah,
UFC.
yeah, reels and TikTok. Yeah, I highly enjoyed those pages. Why? Because during the pandemic, like there was no way we could have a camera crew here. Pandemic was like, no, you're not training, you're not this. In Quebec, we're super crazy about those rules. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't make any promotions of my training. So I was like, fuck it, let's try TikTok. And I really enjoy it because it's funny, because you can make memes. And now I'm like I think I'm the UFC fighter with the most followers on TikTok and this and that. So
how many do you have? I'm not on TikTok.
130,000, I think.
No way.
Yeah, something like that.
Sick.
So it's a lot of people. It's keep growing. So it's a way like to make publicity, and like to show people like being a fighter is not. Sometimes it's not as crazy as you think. Right. I'm a regular guy. I wake up and I grind. I have goals. I wake up. I eat foods. I enjoy quality time with quality people. I have a small circle. I want to be with people that can help me grow. That is something else. Like, it's important to have people that want to help you grow, because the more big I became, the more people wanted to be around me, and there's people who's trying to take everything from you. Like take the fame, take your time, take your money, take this, take that. And I'm very grateful that I got to make plenty of money with the UFC, because now I saw who was there for the good reason and for the wrong reason. So the real ones are still here, and the bad ones, I don't hate them. I don't have time for that. I respect their choice. They did that because they wanted something, but now I'm focusing on me, my team, my family, and people I really enjoy. Even interviews. Like, man, I get so many invitations for podcasts, this and that.
I appreciate you coming on, by the way.
Let me tell you why I came, because I saw your interview with Jess, and just the way you guys were making publicity about it, there was something real, and you guys have real curiosity about martial arts and the thinking of the fighters. Like, you're not just here talking to me about, yeah, but McGregor, yeah, but this, like I enjoy the quality of your questions. Exactly.
Definitely here to talk about you.
And
let me tell you something. There was one reason why I started. I'm a boxer, by the way.
Yes,
I'm turning professional.
Let's go.
And one reason why I started this was because I watched an interview with Joseph Diaz, and it was right after he boxed for a world title, and he missed weight, and he told the interviewer, "I'm not disappointed because I didn't make weight, because my health is more important." Mm-hmm. And the interviewer bashed him for it. And I found that so disrespectful, because if he had died, we would all be crying, right? We would all be, rest in peace, or whatever. But it was just so disrespectful.
They have an agenda. Like media, there's some sort of media that have an agenda. And now it cannot be more obvious with like the mainstream media and everything. Yeah. They have an agenda. They have two choices: make you the villain or make you the hero. Mm-hmm. So they're going to choose either. They're never going to be in between, because when they're in between, nobody's going to read what they wrote, the articles they wrote. I don't mind. I can be the bad guy. Like I don't want to do interview with RDS and these guys anymore. Many platforms. TSN I really enjoy though. There are many platforms I don't want to do it anymore, because one day you're the next big thing, and the other day you're just little fendant, blah blah blah. Like it's crazy how they spit on your name. Like in Quebec. Like, they talk about the Canadian of Montreal. They're the best, they're the shittiest, they spit on everybody. How they talk about David Lemieux. David Lemieux just secluded himself from the media. They was like, fuck you guys. And I was like, why would he do that? And then I understood by seeing what TVA and all those platforms were saying about him. And then Eugénie Bouchard, the tennis player. Right. People were so rude against her, and they're like, oh, she's just blah, blah, blah. I'm like, come on, she's representing us. Like, go in Harlan and go talk bad about their team. You're gonna go get fucking smacked. Like here, it's like it's in our nature. I don't know, to talk bad about the other people. So this is something that bothers me a lot. So that's why independent media outlet that have proper question and want to bring both sides of the medal. Like some things I can be a hero, some things I can be an asshole about it, but I'm gonna be me, you know?
Of course.
So
yeah.
it's real interviews like that I really enjoy because of it's not snippet clipped of something that I said, that snip that make me look like an idiot or a hero.
Okay. Oh, I'm definitely gonna do that to you though.
Nah. We're gonna be in the cage next time. You
Not in the cage. Hell no, not in the cage. No, I wouldn't know what to do on the ground. Actually, I have a story about that. I told your coach Fabio, is that when I was like maybe 15, I was Quebec champion, and my friend was Quebec champion in jiu-jitsu. And I told him, I was like, man, does this stuff work? This whole jiu-jitsu stuff? Like, what, can you like?
It's always the question. Does it work? Shit.
And round 1, 2, honestly, it was very easy. I was just jabbing him, and then he grabbed my arm, and that's it. And I was a fish out of water.
It goes fast. It goes fast.
He submitted me so many times that at some point I tapped out, and he's like, bro, you're just uncomfortable. This isn't a submission lock.
Yeah, a lock.
And,
Yeah. No, it's a beautiful world, but it's but you having a baggage of martial art, because boxing is a martial art, you would understand very fast, because you would be into that learning into uncomfortable position, just like boxing. So you would give it 2-3 months, and you'd be like blown away by all the things that you could have learned in those 2-3 months.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very fun sport.
Let me ask you, now for self-defense, if you were to pick, I've asked this question before and it blew up, so I have to ask you, since you're an MMA fighter and you know about all martial arts, if you were to pick one martial art, just one, only for self-defense, not for fighting in the cage or anything like that, what martial art would it be?
It depends on what context. Like if you want to neutralize someone or you want to beat the shit out of someone.
You're at a bar.
I'm at a bar. Me, I'm choosing Muay Thai because it's the most violent one. Like if you can receive, like you see Canelo ripped his opponent's bicep with a overhand.
Yeah.
Imagine what you can generate. Yeah, imagine how much power you can generate with those shins.
Yeah.
I broke 2 of my opponent's forearms with them.
Really?
So if you're in a bar and you're trying to push me and I'm kicking the shit out of you, this is only take 10 pounds of pressure if it's bent that way. Like this, you have the muscle that can help you, but the guys block like this and I broke their forearms.
Wow.
So Muay Thai would be because it's my favorite, you know? So I can push kick you, I can knee you in the face, like I can destroy you. If you would tell me which one I would suggest for police officer, it would be jiu-jitsu, 100%, because you can throw guys, you can so many positions that, like those cops, there's so many video of them trying to get a hold of a guy and the guy just start running away and like they kicking him. They don't know what to do. They're like 3 on a guy, they don't know how to take him down. How stupid do they look?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It does look ridiculous.
Fuck, man, like there's a police officer, he was there today. And I won't say his name. Anyway, and he's super good. Like when it comes to take your wrist, it's super hard to get get your
wrist out of there.
Exactly, and like police officer, they grab your clothes. They don't know, and they have weak grip. They don't know how to manage someone. Like they knew some Krav Maga shit that doesn't even work. So yeah, so if it would be to destroy someone, it would be Muay Thai. If it would be to be a little bit more gentle because you don't want to go to jail, Jiu-Jitsu. That would be my take on the question.
Okay, here's a more personal question.
Yeah.
If you were to face a boxer,
yes,
and you can only use Jiu-Jitsu, how would it go? How
I would
long
not
would it take you?
Okay. I'll answer your question first. I would, man, it would be easy.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, it would be easy.
Okay, you just crushed my ego by that.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, because these guys want to, and the boxer's going to fight on the back pedal. Right. And I have the same weapon, and the only time you're going to try to commit, you're going to put your weight forward to try to hit me. Because you're going to be jab, and then as soon as you're waiting for that right hand, I'm going to be underneath, you know? But my best weapon against boxers, it's the low kick. Because every time you guys are jabbing, I'm not saying you guys, but every fighter, every time they use their hand, what they do, they step, push. They're always transferring their weight from the back because you're pushing on the ground with this, right? Boom. So every time you push, there's too much weight on you for you to block. Okay. So every time you're going to try to throw a punch, I'm going to use a shell guard. I'm going to kick the shit out of your leg. So first one, it's not that bad. Second one, oh fuck. Third one, you're like, fuck, get me out of there.
Can't stand, eh?
Yes, exactly. Especially when we have no shin guards, like these blades over here, because the tibia bone is one of the only bones who's the most regenerative. So with proper calcium intake, you can make sure that the bone grows stronger. Exactly. So that's why you see those thigh kicking, bar metal, and
Yeah, I never
crazy
understood
stuff.
that. Yeah, especially
it's because they have so many microfractured. Like there's a thing like we would do shin splits, like pack, 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 hit with a wooden stick, and then we and we try to roll. It's crazy painful, but that's how you make your kicks be more
Stronger.
lethal. Yes, exactly. It's crazy sport. I like it.
Now I wanted. How did you find fighting? How does somebody become a fighter?
I was just curious. There was actually a documentary. They came to our home 2-3 years ago, and they asked us, and we find videotape of us, like me and Louis, we're just in the backyard throwing kicks, jumping everywhere, watching Ninja Turtles, just being curious about fighting, because it was something like that. Like you go to a corner, okay? There's 4 corners, okay? You're in a street corner. There's a basketball game. There's golf, I don't know, and there's another sport, and then there's fighting. Which one everybody's going to look at?
Fighting.
Fighting. It's all in our DNA. We want to know the outcome of it. There's something so pure about it that we want to be like, okay, well, what's going on? How did he defend himself? Oh my God, he got knocked out, this and that.
It's a very honest thing to do, fighting.
Exactly, because there's only one person who's going to stay standing. So you're like, oh, I want to see that. So yeah, it's in our DNA. Dana White says that all the time, but it's true. That's why so many people want to view fighting in the form of MMA, because it's so pure. Like guys fall to the ground, this and that. People don't want to. People say I like when they fight standing up, but kickboxing is dead in U.S. and Canada.
Yeah.
Why? Because they want to see someone get knocked down and try to get up, and the guy's on him, this and that. They want to see the pure plus the cage. Like, tell me what's more cool than a cage.
There's definitely something about
it's
the cage.
It's crazy. Yeah. Me, I would fight in like with walls, like, but people wouldn't be able to see me. Me, I would fight in a pit, like with brick walls. Yeah, exactly. In a hole with sand on the ground. That would be my dream. But hey, I'm a crazy kid, so.
You are.
Yeah.
Now, before we leave, I want to ask you something. I want to play a game with you. So I'm gonna name fighters, and coaches, and maybe one promoter if we have time.
I'm very bad with names.
No, you're excellent with it.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm excellent with names. I like that.
You're gonna describe them with one word or one sentence. Are you ready? Okay, let's start off with an easy one. Your coach, Fabio Holland.
God.
Okay, Alexander Volkanovski.
Small.
Max Holloway.
God too.
Jose Aldo.
The king.
Conor McGregor.
Oh my God. The entertainment.
Entertainment. Derek Lewis.
My main event.
Oh, right, it is your main
Yeah.
event. Yeah. Dana White.
The boss.
The boss. What do you feel about Dana White?
He's the man. Like people complaining, like real fast people complaining about their salary. I'm like, you're fighting once every 4 fucking months. Like, please, and you can make crazy amount of money. Like the UFC has a contract with you because we're an independent contractor. We're not UFC employees. We're contracted by the company.
Right.
And their job is to get you 3 fights a year. Let's say you're a beginner. That's still 125K, something like that. And plus us, we transfer it in Canadian, it's 150K.
Okay.
So yeah, like stop complaining. Like they say, yeah, but in NFL, these guys are playing seasons. They on bus, they on planes, they don't see their family, this and that. It's not the same sacrifice. Okay. So before you complain, make sure you put in the work. I've never been a complainer, and I never respected complainers. Like, when I make more money, then work harder, then win.
I got 2 more for you.
You show me.
But please, sorry, I didn't mean to.
Go ahead.
Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo Alvarez, boxing legend.
Floyd Mayweather. I know you got some feelings about him.
TBE, the best ever.
Ian McKillop. He's crazy.
I was about to say violence teacher. Show me how to have violent hands. This is something I really enjoy from.
All his fighters are violent.
Yeah, and they want to throw down. Like I sparred Kenny, and it was very fun. Like let's go, let's meet in the middle and throw.
Kenny, Shaq, and Jessica.
They throw. They're there to fight.
Yeah.
Like I love when good martial artists become fighters, but if you don't have the fight in you, you're in the wrong fucking place. So. Yeah, he helped me have stay crazy with my hands and have proper power with them. So yeah, maniac. I really like him.
My man, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Likewise. Thank you, guys.
Guys, go follow my man, Charles Jourdain 1 on Instagram, or I'll knock you out.
You know why 1? Because I got my Instagram stolen by a Turkish guy. I'm coming to Turkey to find you soon.
Coming to Turkey. I'm not going to tell you that I have Turkish roots now.
Thank you, guys.